Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel, and thank you for joining. Now, in today's episode, we have a special request. Okay, now we're gonna go to Luke Parker's video. Okay, now my good friend here. Where is he? Okay, I'm trying to find him now. Charles Emmett, the man that loves his pastisses. Okay, now he loves the P1s. Now Charles Emmett, he says here, thanks, Hebs, great review. Any chance you could do a Will Ashcroft? And I said for Charles Emmett, I said no problem. Okay, for you anything, just come down. Players in that mid-price range, that 400 or 500 to 350. Let's say Peatling. Okay, now. We got Dockery at 487k, got Parrish at 481, we got Will Ashcroft here sitting at 441k, we got Will Day, we got Oliver, and we got Chera. Now, how many of these boys can we have in our team? Okay, that's a question. Now, I would say you can have 3 for sure, okay? 3 is not a problem, okay? Including Peatling 4. If you can even have 4 with Peatling, you can have, it doesn't. You can actually put here Ashcroft there. Okay, you can have let's get rid of one of them. Okay, you're a Chera. Okay, you can have I think you have the best ones around it. Okay, it'll still work. So you can have Ashcroft in your team. You can have Butters. Okay, why can't I say the Bont? Okay, what happened to the Bont? There he is. All right, the Bont. Okay, who else can we have? We can have let's pick another one. Okay. And then probably have a rookie there, okay, because it actually fits my budget, 200k. I could fit a rookie there as well. So we can do all this, okay? Now, so let's find out how good Ashcroft is. Is he going to do the same thing, okay, as an Adam Chera? Or is he going to do the same thing as a Parrish or a Will Day? Can he keep up with these boys? Even an Oliver, can he keep up? We're going to find out. Now, Will Ashcroft, he comes with if this was a horse, you'd call him a stallion, okay? And sometimes some horses they're donkeys, okay? But this one, Will Ashcroft, he's a stallion, okay? Now, pure breed, okay? Is you can jet race him in the Melbourne Cup. It was a horse, okay? Now, 2023. Had an average of 84, okay? That's his first year. That's actually an unbelievable average. I mean, if you go to, you can't even go there now. Let's go to a player. Let's have a look at a jet player, okay? Let's have a look. Let's go to Geelong, okay? Let's go to Geelong, right? Look at a star player. That's been, actually, let's go to Brisbane Lions, okay? Brisbane Lions. What did Lachie Neale score in his first year? Okay, let's have a look. Lachie Neale in his first year. That was an 84.5, okay, for, Lachie Neale scored a 47.4 in his first year. Lachie Neale broke out in his 4th year. You can see here, he broke out, and then he went nuts. So it hasn't stopped. He's still going nuts, okay? Now, some players take 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years. Like, for example, some players have a good role, like Dacos, okay? He has a good role, except he played midfield last year. He's not even human, okay? Nick Dacos, he's superhuman. But anyway, if you have a look at Nick Dacos's pedigree, okay, let's go have a look here at Nick Dacos. Okay, when he first started. Right, 91, his first year. So, I mean, he played halfback. He scored a 91. Ashcroft didn't even play halfback. He scored 85. So that's huge, okay? And now the second year, Dacos played in the midfield, 116. Actually, no, that was halfback too. This is the midfield, 117. So Dacos is also one of our stallions, okay? Now, we rate this boy very highly, okay, Ashcroft. Now, he's also rated from everybody very highly, okay, and there's reason for that. Now, the only problem with Ashcroft is he plays for Brisbane Lions, okay? Now, there's nothing wrong with the Brisbane Lions, but if he played for any other team, he'd probably go at 100 plus, or similar to a Dacos, but he doesn't. Now, in 2024... he was injured, okay? So obviously, end of 2023, I think he was injured, and it carried on. So let's not count all these injury-affected games. He came back, scored a 129, a 92, and a 115. These are the games we're going to check out, all right? Let's check them out now. Now, that was from round 22, 23, and 24, Okay, we're at Brisbane Lions. Okay, let's have a look at the CBAs now. Where's Ashcroft? Will Ashcroft, round 22, 22 didn't have much. 24%, 31%, 40%, 42%, 40%. So even in the grand final, he had 42% and he won the Norm Smith. So, Norm Smith, okay, he won that one. So it looks like he doesn't need much CBAs, and I think that's pretty much all he's going to get. Okay, that's his maximum, 42, 50%, because who's in front of him? They got Lockie Neal, okay? They got Dunkley, and they got McCluggage, okay? There are players that can't get in there, okay? Berry's struggling to get in there, okay? For example, Berry couldn't get in there once we saw our boy in there, okay? You got Jared Lyons can't get a game anymore, okay? Now, so these three are the main ones. But when Ashcroft, when one of these goes on the bench, Ashcroft comes in there. So Ashcroft is next in line. He's the fourth midfielder, all right? Now, next up, we got Devon Robertson. Okay, he's had a few. 43%, 35%. Who else we got? We got Cam Rayner in there, but it's mainly Ashcroft, all right? So let's have a look at Ashcroft now. Let's go in there. Let's have a look at some of these heat maps. What does he do? What does he get his points? Now, in round 22, all right, he scored the 129 points. I want to see what he did in round 21 before those 129 points, because he had more CBAs in round 21. He had 43%, okay? Even the games prior, he had 28% and 36%. We may argue that he was injured, okay? So he came back, but he's had a few weeks to recover. Let's have a look at his 43% game. Oof. Okay, so he's gone midfield, bit of half forward. So midfield, he's hanging around everywhere, okay, in this game. But on that big game, all right, the 129 game, what did he do? Purely midfield, okay, you can see everywhere. Now, the thing I noticed with Ashcroft is a lot of his kicks are short kicks. I mean, I don't see those big, long kicks like we see from Zorko. Ashcroft plays very similar to Lockie Neal, okay? Now, a very similar type, very accurate kicks as well. I'll have a look at his stats, okay? Let's have a look at his disposal efficiency. It's in the 70s. It's very high, okay? Some 60s here, but in the 70s, that's pretty much his norm. In the grand final, it was 87, all right? There was a game where he went 95. In that game, he went 95%. He only scored a 98. He had 10 touches. That's not much. He played Carlton, okay? 10 touches against Carlton. In this game, the 115 he scored, 129 that he scored, he had 29 touches, but against GWS, which is not a bad effort, all right, at the Gabba, okay? Now, at the Gabba, let's take a look at his scores at the Gabba, all right? Let's work this out now. Okay, 3 games at the Gabba, so it's 114. So he loves the Gabba, okay? That's the latest 3. Now, he also loves the MCG. Okay, have a look at the MCG. It's a 98. Okay, including the grand final. Okay, so it's not really that high. He had a 74 against Geelong. Now, he's a type of player. All right. To me, it looks like a 148 here. All right. What did he do with the 148? That's a 28 possession game, going at 96%. Okay, that's incredible. Okay, now. Let's check those stats. Again, around the midfield. Now, with Ashcroft, he's young, all right? He's got room to improve. He's going to be a Jet. Now, in the grand final, what did he do? Again, same. When he's in the midfield, he's just everywhere, okay? He's like an ant, okay? He flies around. The game he scored 74 against Geelong. He didn't get as much ball. Okay, so he was everywhere, but was running around, not getting much ball. How much touches did he have against Geelong? Let's have a look. 22 touches at 68%. That also is not useful, the 68%. The scoring is there, all right? You can see the 115. If you count his average from this game, from the 129 onwards, count that average, it's a 107, all right? That's decent. And I would say he can hold that average at 107, going by this, okay? and going by his progression of improvement, because another preseason, his third year, he can probably go to 105, 104, around there, which is not bad, okay? The only problem is to keep up with the big boys in that midfield, okay? He hasn't got it yet, all right? Like, you can see Caleb Sarong averaging 115. Zach Merritt, he's not up to these standards yet, okay? He's 10 points around behind them. So he's not going to be a keeper. So why are we getting Ashcroft then? He also has the round, is it round 2? Round 3? Is it round 3 buy? Okay, he's got the round 3 buy. Okay, now, he's not a keeper, and he's 441k. Because if you consider, we did Chera's video, we think Chera could go about 110. Okay, now Ashcroft, we think about 105. At 441k with a buy round, that's a problem. Okay, because there's Oliver. Okay, and we know what Oliver can do. There's Will Day who went at a 120 run, and he's only 491k, only 50k more. You get Will Day who can get at 120. We've seen it. A 12 game stretch. So, is Ashcroft worth a pick right now? Let's think about this now. Now, we go to my final verdict. Okay, now, with Ashcroft, value-wise, there is value. Okay? If he goes to a 105 average, that's going to roughly, by the time he gets to about round 10, the magic number will drop to about 5. So that's roughly about 510, 520k. So he'll make about 80k on top. So you can always trade him out for a fallen primo, okay? Now, when I say that, okay, maybe pay. So you can get him for a fallen. Actually, let's put this in the notes, okay? You make it 80k. Put this in the notes. You can trade him out for a fallen primo. Now, a fallen primo, all right? What is a fallen primo? Now, if you have a primo, for example, let's actually, I don't know, even though I'll put all these players here. Okay, take them out again. Okay, now take all these players out. If we have a primo like, let's go to the midfield, and let's say Nick Dacos. Okay, now we know Nick Dacos is injured. Okay, he's not going to play. He may play, but we don't know how he's going to play with that sore foot that he's got. I can't even say that the injury he's got. It's a tongue twister for me. Now, if Nick Dacos drops to 550k, all right, and Will Ashcroft goes up to 520k, you can actually do the switch, because by the time round 10 comes along, Dacos should be okay to play, and we know Dacos is a top 10 or a top 4 even. So that's one play you can do, is switch Dacos, so Ashcroft to Dacos. But you could do the same thing with any of these 440k players. Okay, you can actually do it with Parrish. You can do that with Adam Chera, which I'm thinking of doing. Okay, you can actually do it with Chera. So it doesn't have to be Ashcroft. And because Ashcroft has that round 3 bye, it makes it a bit difficult. So going back to my notes, okay, points-wise, we said a 105, and we're being realistically generous, okay, because he can put in a poor game. He can put in a 92, which we saw against Geelong, okay? It was there. Now, is he a keeper? No. Okay, he's a placeholder. Okay, that's all he is. But sometimes placeholders hold merits, because they go up a little bit, they score points for you, and you just replace them with a fallen primo. So it actually works, all right? Now, decision for me, okay, if I was to bring in Will Ashcroft, what I would do is I would start with Parrish, watch how he plays, if, like after round 3, okay, because that's when Ashcroft has the bye. In round 4, Parrish has his bye. I would trade out Parrish, okay, and then bring in Ashcroft. I would bring him in after his bye, okay, so that's what I would do. So, decision for me will be can bring in after his bye. Okay, that's what I would do. Must have, no. And we also get to see him in round 0, so we'll see how he plays. It's just that if he had, okay, if Ashcroft had a 60% CBAs, or even if he has 60% CBAs in round 0, then yes, must have. Okay, but I'll still wait until round 4 to get him. I wouldn't get him in round 1 because I might as well utilize the points from our boy here, okay, from Essendon or even Chera. I can get Chera or Parrish, start him off, okay, and then switch him over and see how he goes for the next 2 rounds. If he continues holding that 60% CBAs, that's if he gets it, okay? Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for joining, and remember one thing. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. Ciao for now.
That's all, folks.